going to say. But yeah, Will, do you have any thoughts on who the USA's starting five should be?
I don't really have a strong opinion. I mean, it seems like there's some politics going on with like egos and stardom
Always.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that with like having to start Embiid. It's
Like they
interesting,
went
but
through all of this trouble to get
Yeah,
him to
that's the
join Team
thing.
USA, right? It's not
hmm
just that he's there and he's like the MVP and all of that, right? You have so
yeah,
many names on this list. I think it's because they went through all the trouble of like courting him and like trying to win him
right.
versus Team France.
So
So
It
you're
was
not
full
going to
now,
court
start
press.
him.
It was a full court press with him, and it's hard not to get him. And it's what they talk about with managing egos, managing players. Like if you bench him, you might risk getting like the Brandon Ingram situation, just so he just checks out. I
Right.
don't know. Like that's like a character comment.
oh
Like I don't
no,
know.
we play our better center. Zzz, in 80 and Bam.
Yeah,
And Embiid is sulking at the end of the bench. What is this going to do to the
tragedy. Yeah,
team?
But it's kind of been working well for them having like this amazing bench unit because it's like
yeah.
a lot
It's
of
a
teams
super.
can't compete with that. So just start Embiid and just close with whoever's like playing the best in that game, and like the
Yeah,
players won't really
limit the
care at that
minutes.
point.
And especially if it's a short, you talked about it's a shorter game, like in a lot of teams, you can break them with that second unit. Like, I mean, because they're good, obviously, like they're too good anyway. Like that
hmm
starting lineup, like it's
Right.
not. We're talking about like, oh, like they're so much worse with like, oh, they're worse with Embiid on. It's
Right.
Yeah, it's
like I wish a lot of countries had that problem of like starting Joel Embiid. Like I wish
I know, right? It's like
Cameron
they
would
go
like
from
to.
plus, plus 12 net ratings, like a +4. That's
Yeah,
still they're
yeah.
just still winning.
And then you run into like that second unit with like other countries. Like second unit is like a much different story.
yep.
It's I would still keep
Yeah.
it the way it is. Like it doesn't matter. And it's also like a little overblown of like it's these he's so bad. It's the relative. Like it's just again different type of style of
It's more
basketball.
about
And
fit than anything, right? Like
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just
It's the
I thought he
fit.
was actually quite good defensively in the Germany exhibition game, in large part because I think that the way that Germany plays doesn't really
hmm
take advantage of some of his like limitations, especially like conditioning wise, because they play so kind of slow and methodical compared to the other teams that was giving those USA
yeah.
starters issues. So I think it might just be a matchup thing, and then when you see them in the Olympics, there are going to be games where they're just dominating in those minutes anyway.
Yeah.
Which that is Mile High Aki's question, our good friend.
Yes, that's right. Love Mile High.
He said, "Why is Embiid shit at international basketball?" We kind of just touched on that. Yeah, I think I would just say he's used to being the number one option on the Sixers, and like everything's running through him. On the USA, it's like even for his players this good, some of them are ball dominant, some of them are good off the ball. There's just different styles. It's hard to like mesh that. It's just like a little awkward, but
And also, I mean, it's just elephant in the room has got to be said. Like, it's not the same amount of free throws you're going to get. And so
yeah,
there's less freedom in that way. Like, if you don't get calls the same way, like, it's just you have less space to do what he does. And it's just different. Less, no 3 second, again, a lot easier to double from there. Like, you can focus. And yes, like, the logical way, like people are like, oh, everyone says Embiid's bad, but he's the only one getting doubled. It's like, yeah, because you go into post, that's like what you would do. Like, why would you let him just turn around? He's a
yeah.
Yeah.
giant 7-footer, and you
hmm
make him like try to pass it out, which is not his strongest suit. Like he can do it, but it's not his strongest way. So like, why would you? Well, if there was no double teams, it'd be the greatest ever. It's like, yeah.